Well, it's Category A men's foil gold medal time now, and the #1 seed and a strong favourite from the beginning of the day. Hasn't actually had the easiest route in the last couple of matches. That's Pierre-Uwe Peters from Germany, but he certainly kept a lot in the tank in terms of energy. He's up against Christian DOUSSE from Switzerland, the neighbouring country, of course, and he has had a great ding-dong battle throughout the day here, and sometimes that can spur you on in the final. We have two referees as normal out here. Luca Qi from Italy is taking control of the floor, and it's Chua Eugene Wee Hong of Singapore on the video, and I'm delighted to say Ryland Delap, the US referee, is still here in the commentary box to talk us through this. Ryland, how much have you seen of these two today?
So I have watched DOUSSE and referee DOUSSE coming through battles that I did not expect him, to be honest, to win, and so he's really come through today and surprised me in multiple situations, taking out in the semifinal a very strong and fundamental American fencer. So I'm really interested to see how he pulls through on this final, because he's been really surprising against even these more fundamental and look like stronger fencers, but he's had a great game today.
Super dynamic as well. He's not an ounce of fat on the man, and he's running people ragged. But the key thing for me here with Peters is, whilst his scorelines throughout the day have been quite close, he's maintained control, and he hasn't been this explosive. He hasn't had to use his deadly step lunge attack.
Conserve that energy. It's amazing explosiveness right there that he just showed. And that could be an advantage. However, I've noticed that DOUSSE has been able to counterattack in multiple situations.
Well, we now get a video call here. Your thoughts on this one?
So I don't get to see the replay here live. I might have.
Your colleague just turned the laptop around.
Oh yeah, so that they can see it more clearly. But the issue here is also depends on certain opinion, of how the referee wants to call it. I'm interested what he'll come out and say, because I have a feeling about what he'll.
Yeah, I understand why you're being reticent about this. I'm going to say I felt that was attack from right, and I thought it was interesting that DOUSSE calls this. So let's see what the referee says, having consulted with the video. He's changed it.
The reason why is, again, what I was discussing earlier, is the fencer on the right, his back foot sliding in with the touch, his elbows coming towards his waist after he hits. So we tend to recognize this as intention to counterattack. And even despite timings, or despite whenever somebody made preparation, you are acknowledging an attack against you if you are trying to avoid getting hit. Because he showed that, the referee made a change.
So not fully committed, essentially.
And I know both these officials, and I happen to know that the video referee is going to see that counterattack intention. And this referee sees the timing and everything, but does come from a little bit of that older. His pattern recognition is going to jump to that who first went to target. So he's a reasonable person as well, and listen to his video.
And that's why it's so important to have two referees out there for a gold medal match at World Championships. And this time, to avoid any doubt, a taking of the blade from Pierre-Uwe Peters.
And you can see the difference about how he finishes that action with a nice, pretty, long lunge, right? See here again, he searched for the blade. When he didn't find it, he went for a hit and then twisted to avoid the hit from his opponent. Successfully enough. Those off targets better than getting hit on target.
Yeah, it's too true. But look at their dynamism already. After a minute of fencing, they felt each other out, and now we're seeing a lot more movement from both of the fencers.
The VET50s today is just blown me away with the strength and the speed and the movement. This is another situation where if he wanted to ask for a video, he might get that call, because again, Peters twisted out, but
attack into preparation there, and we get that little flash of the red light coming up.
Again, it's correct. He prepares and he goes to touch in this moment, but right now, the language that the more modern referees will use to describe this call, because of the intention, Deuce is not doing an attack in the preparation, he is counter-attacking. Even though it's possible to take an attack, and it would be correct to call preparation attack in this moment, he makes a mistake of not trusting this moment and switching his intention to a counter-attack. So this goes
But getting
right
the
back.
single light because of the distance.
Yes.
They're racing through this one. 9 hits already in a minute and a half. Oh, we make the minute break in this gold medal match.
Is it like a important language that we're getting better at making sure semantically, we're saying that, for instance, an offenser is attacking and hitting off target, and the other person, whether or not they're doing a counterattack or just attacking but too late. Some of us has the habit of saying, oh, attack, counterattack. But the other offenser didn't actually counter, they just attacked at the wrong moment, right? And it's nice and useful, and it's helpful for people who are watching fencing to understand that we're giving the attack to who starts first, and we have to recognize whether the attempt of one of the fencers was to avoid an attack or to make an attack, and perhaps they were late. It's important for them to understand that difference.
Yeah, it's a nuance I haven't thought about really, because if you like, you could dominate with, or you could lead with. It doesn't matter if both fencers are attacking. The attack, in principle, in fencing, comes from the person who starts. If this person is attacking, but they start too late, by nature of deduction, that they are counter-attacking.
Yes, but it's useful in the sense that we really, like the highest level referees right now that I discuss this with, they will just say, attack touch point. And the defensive will go, why? You were late.
Yeah.
But
I understand what you're saying. I
It's a
appreciate
semantical
as a foil fencer myself a long time ago. I appreciate what you're saying, because far too many times I was late on my attack.
Well, and as a trust, and it's actually really nuanced, like psychologically, because as a fencer, if a referee says that you're counterattacking, perhaps when you took a parry post, you get annoyed because you're like, that's not what I was doing. That was not my intention. So it makes things a little confusing for the spectators as well. It's a nuance. It's not always done perfectly by the officials as well. But it's not an easy job, absolutely. So it's an interesting thing to see, right?
Very interesting, and this match is very interesting as well, because we're all square. 46 seconds to go. I wonder if either of these fencers are going to come off the gas a little bit and go for the break and a chat with the coaches. It doesn't look like
they
it.
do, but I haven't seen it at all today. The vet 50 is like, let's go, let's fight.
Yeah.
Like if it gets to 10, it gets to 10. I have not seen them back off at all today.
Lovely stuff there, and acknowledged. Oh no, is he calling for a video? He's put his finger up. This usually means acknowledgement, but what he's actually saying is, I want you to go to the video.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a look at this. Well, the referees are going to have a look at it. We don't get to see it. Your feeling on this one? I know you don't want to call.
No, I do. I will always give my opinion. I'm fine with that, because it's okay to be wrong either way, even if it's me. That's how it kind of goes. Live, I actually did not see a separation, but I actually was not focused directly on the target when the moment happened. My eyes were not where they usually are when I'm trying to do that pattern recognition as an official.
You're going to be more relaxed in the commentary position.
He must have started a little earlier.
Yeah. Peters gets the hit.
What happened?
So the score went up to 8-7, and then I think when they looked at the video, it was a mistake earlier on, and it was promoted one forward. So this is the correct score now. This is the correct score now. Don't think that Peters has been done out of one. In fact, that video review was a good call for Deuce, even though he didn't get the decision for him. They recognised that there was a faltering of failing in the score before that hit was even taken.
Still loses that video, though, one way or the other, but we'll take that touch, right?
I think I would rather have that reduced to 7-7.
Yeah.
And we may now well get to the halfway point and a minute's break, which is good, because I've got a question for you, Rylan.
Absolutely.
We just see out this as
there it goes.
well, the attack starts from there. Now I'm starting to see what you're talking about, intention there. Peters just pulling out the last minute. And so would you then say the counter-attack?
Absolutely, counter-attack touche point. Yeah.
Okay, learn something new every day.
It's an important aspect. You have to be very empathetic as a referee. What are they trying to do, right? We have the convention now. If they both take the blade together, right, cancels out, and whoever is attacking gets the point. But the person on the attack often hides the blade. So we have to be able to understand the difference. And they'll want to blur that line because it gives them an advantage if they can blur the line between hiding the blade and taking the blade. Because it gives them a 2-for-1, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we get to the break, and just like that, DOUSSE gets a couple of hits to take him into that break, and he'll be a much happier man. He's got a little room to breathe. But right now, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I want you mentioned earlier on that you're working out of Alabama, but you not only are you involved in refereeing in the sport, but you're also involved in promoting the sport for a number of different reasons. You have 36 seconds to tell us what those are.
Oh, great. Yeah, so I've started an organization to develop the sports, the Southeast Fencing Organization. Fencing is a wonderfully diverse cultural sport, international sport, and I believe that more communities that have access to it have access to that culture and that international business network, and there's a lot of advantages that our sport gives, but I think the Southeast of the U.S. can really use that political progression and development to have more culture and more diversity. So my goal in the South is to add that.
Growing the sport, especially for young people, you mentioned one statistic about the fencers at college have...
Oh yeah, so fencers, NCAAs, we have some of the highest proportion of scholarships to athletes. We have the highest average GPA in our sport. We have one of the highest admissions rate into Ivy League colleges. There's so many advantages that this sport gives the communities that have it available, and I think the Southeast is a part of the country in the U.S. that needs more opportunities and more diversity, more culture added to us. So my entire goal is to give more avenues of that cultural diversity and opportunities for college and business and everything. So that's my goal here. Wonderful.
Well, it's a great goal, and not only does it offer wonderful opportunities to young people, not only in the States as well, to all around the world, but it's a lifelong sport, as we're seeing
Absolutely.
here, and it is a lifetime achievement here for Christian DOUSSE of Switzerland. He battled his way through the day, and the man from Switzerland is the 2019 Category A Men's Foil Individual World Champion. Rylan, a spectacular finish. The favourite, I think, was outdone by someone who's battled their way through the day and built their confidence on that.
Absolutely. All day today, he's just had a brilliant game. Has been able to figure out his opponents, even the ones who seem